Good morning, everyone. My brain told me to say that, so I'm just rolling with it. I hope everyone's doing well. Tonight we're gonna be playing some Turok Evolution. And if you are in the Discord, then you'll know what I'm about to do here in a minute. So tonight's stream is gonna be Turok Evolution. It's slated for just a one-off kind of stream, you know? I don't know how I'm going to like Turok Evolution, but I wanted to play it, give it its due time in the spotlight, right? So it's gonna be a one-off stream, but I also wanted to take this time to also start a little trend with my streams where I look into like the reviews and reception of the games at this time and see if there's any weird trivia or weird things about these games, right? Because I don't know shit about Turok Evolution. And I may not do this for every game, especially ones that like I know about already, like Super Mario Sunshine. Like I wouldn't do that, right? So here's I'm gonna go over to the overlay, right? So this is Turok Evolution. We're gonna let this intro, or not intro, but the menu screen, right? We're gonna let this play out for a bit. Hopefully the game volume's not too bad. Let me know if I need to change anything. But Turok Evolution. So this was released in 2003, actually 2002, for the GameCube and PlayStation 2 and Xbox, apparently. I'm reading this all from like the wiki article. And also had a port on the Microsoft Windows in 2003, but only in Europe. What? All right. According to Google users, 94% liked this video game. It got 7.1 out of 10 on IGN and 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm assuming this is 2002 scores, right? Yeah, August 27th, 2002. Good. It's rated 7.1. Good. What reviews? Let me see. So this was actually originally posted, this review that I'm about to read, posted September 3rd, 2002 by Fran Mirabella III on IGN. I'm just gonna skim through, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, right? Just gonna skim for some key points. Yeah, see, so this is... oh, hang on. Okay, so this is I thought they edited it to change the time frame. So, you know, everyone knows Turok started on the N64 to critical acclaim. People fucking loved the game. And then Turok 2 came out, and this reviewer said it's largely regarded as the most ambitious Turok because it brought unprecedented, quote, high-res, stunning animation in massive environments and a multiplayer mode onto a sizable N64 cartridge. And they say, they continue with, only Turok 2's unbalanced game design held it back from complete greatness. I would agree with that. Very unbalanced. It surprised and disappointed fans of the franchise. It left them frothing at the mouth for more perfect sequel. Turok 3 in 2000, mid-2000, I'd say like just straight up 2000. Either that or they mean middle of the year 2000. Maybe that's what they mean. Let's see. It didn't really say much about that. Anyways, it's kind of a brief primer of Turok, right? So the storyline follows the original conflict of the Lost Land, so we're coming back around. Turok 3 kind of departed the jungle theme of Turok 1 and 2, so apparently Turok Evolution kind of comes back to that. I did finish Pac-Man, yeah. I finished it not last night, Tuesday. It was a good game. Simple, but good, and had some pretty killer music in level 4. Good music all around, but level 4's music was the best in my opinion. All new flight sequences, squad-based AI. Okay, interesting. So it's kind of, they're saying it kind of gave a return to the feel of old Turok. For better or worse, we'll see. Okay. So, all in all, it seems like, I'm just kind of skimming through this. It seems like it's a very middle of the ground sequel. We'll read the verdict. Being the N64 fan that I am, this is from the perspective of, what was their name? Fran Mirabella III. This is their perspective. Being the Nintendo 64 that I am, I've been a fan of Turok since the original, running around foggy jungle environments, climbing walls. Blah blah blah. Many years past, seems Turok has a hard time keeping up the high standards that recent first-person shooters have set. Recent being 2003, 2002. Matter of fact, Turok's best appeal right now is the gourds from using to decapitate a slimy dinozoid or blow 6 of them sky high with multi-firing rocket launcher. Okay. It's a little bit more gory than the original. Start the game is what they Okay. I just happened to look at the game screen. Just the first few levels of evolution, I got to upgrade my pistol to a sniper rifle. Okay, interesting. Found Turok evolution to be a mix of enjoyment and frustration. At times I was thoroughly amused, sniping enemies and causing mayhem, while at the other moments I was frustrated and in a pure state of tedium. I can only recommend that the most hardcore fans, Turok fans, pick the title up. Anyone else will want to stick to a rental. This is definitely worth checking out, especially given the multiplayer mode is quite entertaining. Well, I won't be playing the multiplayer mode because I don't have multiple players to play with me here. Okay, so what it sounds like I'm saying, it was very middle of the road kind of game, which kind of tracks with the, excuse me, with the reviews that I'm seeing here, right? Let me look at, see what, is there a Turok wiki? Let's see, here, actually, let's pull up reddit.com, assuming this subreddit's not blacked out due to the protests. Okay, let's see what reddit.com, what am I, a boomer? Reddit is saying, titled, "Do any of you remember Turok Evolution on r/gaming?" It's just a simple question with a GIF attached to it of the game footage. A lot of people saying desperately needs a modern Doom. Cerebral bore guns, very violent. Take the poison arrow, shoot heads off. So people have. Someone says, remember it? Yes. Fondly? No. That's funny. I remember most of the Turok games, weird as shit. Yeah. So, kind of polarizing almost, too. Okay. So, Turok Evolution on the Turok Wiki. Turok.fandom.com. Let's see. Anything interesting? Let's do critical reception. Let's just do that. Evolution received mixed to positive reviews on its release. The review aggregator Metacritic scored the Xbox version 6 out of 10. GameCube 6.8 out of 10. GameCube version is 7. The Game Boy Advance version is 7.2. PlayStation version is 6.1. Publications such as Play Magazine and Yahoo Games praised its fierce energy and general violence and mayhem. Common complaints focused on what was called a weak storyline and unimpressive AI. The PS2 version was more heavily criticized than the GameCube, Xbox, and PC versions due to poor frame rates and inferior graphics. Okay. Game's villain. Oh, I heard about this, actually. The game's villain, Tobias Bruckner, lived on through EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly's annual Tobias Bruckner Memorial Awards, which, quote, honored what they perceived to be the worst in video games, with categories specific to games released in that year. So, I don't know what this says about this game, right? But they named a terrible game award after the main enemy for this game. So that sounds promising, right? Let's get into it. That's enough reading. I think that's a nice little primer. I like that. So what I'm expecting is a more higher, maybe not even higher res, maybe higher polygon count for the environment and enemies, but we'll see. Very cinematic opening. I did check. So then another thing I'm doing now, especially as we get into the older games like 2003, 2004, and later, is I'm gonna be looking for a widescreen option, higher resolution option, what have you, whatever, for these games to see if I can. Did it just crash? Oh no, was it loading? What? That was such an abrupt ending to the credits. I literally thought the game crashed. Your trials have just begun, warrior. Collect the Tarkeen key to move on. So this is, despite being named Turok, I don't even think I am Turok. Maybe Turok is a title. I don't know. I hope this is classic. Yeah, right? I want to see T-Rexes with boobs. This is evolution, baby. Yeah, of course. It's a natural course of evolution. It's primates, or it's reptiles, lizards, aquatics, primates, humanoid, man, like human, titties, and then crabs. Everything, carcinization. Everything is crab. Okay, so first of all, I need to invert my yeah, there we go. FPS? What is alternate? I don't know what any of that means, so I'm just gonna not mess with it. Very good. Okay, I haven't played Turok. Only ever seen you play a few. Yeah, I've never played Turok before doing the deep dive on the N64. First of all, good speed on the walking. I like that. I appreciate it. I'm glad. So Turok was really cool in the sense that it did essentially a twin stick shooter feel on the N64 with the C buttons, right? This is just kind of expanding on that because now you actually have two thumbsticks. Ow. Okay, what is attack? Okay, B is to, okay, trigger is attack, okay. B is to change weapons. Can I hold down B to open a wheel? No. Okay, B and Y are change weapons. I'm assuming one is forward and one is back, but I only have two weapons right now, so. L is crouch. Z doesn't do anything right now, but I imagine it might do something later. I don't know what X does right now. A is to jump, so that's okay. If I have a double jump. I do not have a double jump. Do we get cool Doom guns in this? Apparently there are some cool guns. I tried not to spoil myself on what guns there are, because I don't, I want to be surprised. But there are cool guns. Okay. No crossbows. Crossbows I don't know about. That dude, what gun is that? There's a rainbow. Happy Pride Month, everyone. There's a rainbow in Turok Evolution. I don't know. I don't know. That is not a gun. What he was holding? Okay, normal dinosaurs. What is attacking me? What, literally though, what is oh, that guy. Okay, let's see about... I just shot the dude's arm off. Can I get up here? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I can get up there. Oh, maybe I can. Here we go. First-person platforming. Great. Ah, okay, so that was the key I needed. That was not clear, but I'm glad I... Okay, there's fall damage. I'm glad I fumbled my way over to the solution. Kind of wish there was a splint button? Sprint button. Oh, the trees fell. Oh, hi. Can I chop down a tree? I can chop down a tree. Interesting. Semi-destructible environments. I'm assuming it doesn't do that for everything, though. Why? I don't want to hurt a regular dinosaur. He's probably just threatened. I'm in his territory. I don't know. Okay, swimming. You know what I'm pleasantly surprised with? Though I guess I shouldn't be, considering it's newer generation, but... So, the one thing I hated the most about the Turok games, especially 1 and 2, is the amount of fog. You could hardly see, like, 5 feet in front of you because the draw distance was so bad, because the N64 was such a weak system to do... I mean, it was a strong system for its time, but it was too weak to do, like, anything like good draw distance. So they had to limit the fog so as to not notice how intense the pop-in was, right? And that was frustrating. I hated that. I get why they did it, but I still hated it. Or at least it auto-saves. Raptors are seldom encountered alone. Beware, these fur predators have a taste for human flesh. I know some dinosaurs I'm gonna have to kill. That's the whole point. But Triceratops are those are herbivores, right? Maybe they're omnivores. I know they're not carnivores though. I don't know. I haven't learned any dinosaur stuff since I was in like middle school. God, that's good. I'm not gonna say who it's from because I mean, like, I'm a tiny streamer. They're probably not even. My endorsement doesn't mean anything, right? So I probably don't even need to be concerned about this sort of thing. But I have been drinking this energy drink. It's a powder-based energy drink, popular brand. No, not Bang. Though I used to drink Bang a lot, but I got kind of tired of it, and it also made me feel gross. No, it's it doesn't matter. I'll just say it's G Fuel. I've been drinking a lot of G Fuel because I like it. Like honestly, if they were to like. It's not gonna happen, right? Because I'm a nobody, just straight up. That's not being pessimistic. It's just a fact. They don't give a damn who I am, but they're honestly, it's good. I like G Fuel. They have a lot of really good flavors, and they did a Banjo-Kazooie collaboration that turned out to be a really awesome flavor, and I like it. So I've been regularly drinking it every few days or so. I don't drink it every day. I try to limit my caffeine intake. But I got a bunch of new flavors that came in the mail today, and I'm having one right now because I didn't have any coffee this morning, and I got a shit amount of sleep last night. So I didn't want to. Hello, turtle. I didn't want to be super low energy when streaming, right? So. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been hesitant to mention them on stream because like. They do a lot of sponsorships, so I kind of like, you know, if they wanted to sponsor me, it'd be awesome. I don't want to give them free endorsement, but I do want to say that I like their stuff, right? But at the same time, as I mentioned, I'm a nobody. Like, what kind of endorsement could I give? Yes, hello, 5 people. Buy G Fuel. But no, it's good. I like it. And if they wanted to sponsor me, I would accept that. Trying to figure out where to go. But I mean, the drinks work, and they don't give me any kind of jitters, which is why I like them. Do I have a map? See, what? They got rid of the map. I was right. The B and Y buttons are forward and back in the weapons wheel. Can I climb? Why did I get hurt? What is hurting me? Real men don't use maps? Oh, I ain't a real man. Maybe I need to come up here. Yeah, that's the way. Up. Okay, well, I'm gonna come back over here. Like Captain Quark, he doesn't need gadgets to swing from place to place. He has muscles. Poison arrows, okay. Cool frame drop right there. Like how I butchered that word. That's my favorite thing, is to butcher words. Language is all made up anyways. Oh, okay, I guess. So I don't need any more ammo. 45 is the most pistol bullets I can hold. Crouch. Wow, very short level segments. You must make your way to the top of the jungle cliffs and locate the allied pilot that awaits you. Eliminate any Slag patrols you encountered in the jungle. Cool, I don't know who Slag is, but... Pistol. Oh, do I... Okay, I was like, do I lose all my weapons when I go to a new area? But no. He was giving me that in case I didn't pick it up in the last one, I guess. Would really benefit from a weapon wheel. Ah! Like, it's weird, because it's supposed to be a sequel. Well, I guess this is technically a prequel, is what they were saying. But, like, all the quality of life improvements that they made from 1 through 3. What? What was that? Hang on. There's no... What was that? Yeah, there's no subtitles. I could not hear whatever that was saying. Oh, there's some very generous auto aim. If you see me randomly switch weapons, it's because I'm trying to reload thinking it does anything, but there's no reload button. Oh, you can't shoot your gun underwater. Oh, good to know. I guess that makes sense. I mean, it wouldn't do anything anyways. Oh, and you automatically switch back to a pistol when you surface. That's cool. Can I climb these vines? I can. Hi, Otto. What are you doing, little guy? Well, now I can hold 56. Maybe those were small. I don't know. What is that? Rude of you, honestly. What are these monkeys? What the hell are these things? Was this thing? Oh, okay. I just couldn't see it. Fell off. And this opens the gate that was underwater, I take it? It does. Okay. Cool fall damage. Love me some fall damage. Hey, you stop that. Yeah, these are med kits. So I guess that's what that was earlier in the other segment, because I could hold more than 45 bullets. I like the warping on the camera as you're underwater. I'm drowning. Very generous. I just shot a tree down. This is like Doom levels, generous auto aim. Not complaining. I have terrible aim, on controllers. I never play first-person shooters with a controller if I can help it. I always play with mouse and keyboard if I have the option to. But you don't play shooters on consoles. Yeah. The last shooter I played on a console was Halo 4. That was back in like 2011, 2010, or 2012. Whenever Halo 4 came out, I don't remember. Pretty decent at shooters now, at least with Doom. I'm honestly really bad, so I still really can't. I can't really even say like, I'm good at shooters if I have a keyboard and mouse. I'm not. I'm still bad at them. But that is some really look at this auto aim. I'm aiming nowhere near him. Oh, whatever. It's funny. Like I said, not complaining, I'm just pointing it out because I think it's funny. Oh, I'm out of, gun. What is going on? What? The camera was doing some weird shit just then. Oh, I can... Okay. Climb above that. I saw that. I'm going over. I don't care. Oh, that is disorienting. He doesn't put his gun away, or like his weapon. So I'm like, am I attached to the vines or not? Apparently, I am. That's funny. What? Now I'm just imagining him with like vestigial arms coming out of his back. Vestigial's maybe not the right word, but... Okay, so X is to change arrows, at least with the bow. Don't worry, it's different for every game. That's very true. I used to be really good at Halo. Whoops. Sick backflip when you hit the ground. You like platformers? Yeah. I usually prefer like action adventure platforming games, right? But I'll play shooters occasionally. I'll go through like random stints where I'll get like obsessed with Halo. By the way, I found a game you might like. You like platform? Yeah, okay, so yeah, whatever, I don't care. Link it. I'll watch it after stream though. I've heard of it, but I saw it at the speedrunning channel ESA. What's it called? Pizza Tower? Oh yeah, I've heard of Pizza Tower. I love it. The music is absolutely killer. So we're back here, which is not ideal, but I'll deal with it. Yeah, it is a very charming game. I love games with unique art styles. I really don't like the recent, maybe not so much recent now as it used to be, but for a long time, especially indie games, had an obsession with pixel art. And there's a lot of work that can go into pixel art. I understand it, and it can be artful, as the name implies. But I didn't grow up with 16, like 8-bit, 16-bit, and even to an extent 32-bit graphics, right? So I don't have a lot of nostalgia for that. I never really liked pixel art style and stuff. So there was a long time with a lot of indie games that did nothing but pixel art. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of potentially good games just because, like, right off the bat, I'm like, it's a pixel art game. I don't want it. You know what I mean? Which sucks. Like, I'm sorry that I've had a mentality like that, but it's just kind of, you know, it doesn't hit that nostalgia bone for me. And even nostalgia is not much of a motivator for me either, though, because like now there's been like this I almost said resurgence, but more of it just a surgence in general of if that's even a word, of indie games that are made to mimic the PlayStation 1 art style, with like the weird texture warping, low to mid poly character models, like all that stuff from that era. And even that doesn't really strike me as something that I want to play. It's fun to watch some people play those games, but I don't find myself wanting to play them myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, D-makes and such. They're cool to see, but it doesn't make me want to play the game. And I get it. It's, especially for indie developers, it's hard to make really high fidelity graphical intensive games. And graphics aren't everything. I'm getting more, now that we're kind of we're like starting to hit a plateau with graphical capabilities, right? We can always do better. And I don't think we've hit the max that graphics can be, but we're starting to hit a bit of a plateau right now where even PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series aren't really able to get much better in terms of graphics without hitting some serious diminishing returns. Without severely upgrading the technology. I think now that we're getting to a point where we can make some really, really good looking realistic games, we need to I feel like we need to shift to more artful games with the set-defined art style instead of realistic graphics, right? And then focus on performance, straight up performance. We've hit a section where I feel like we should be comfortable with graphical fidelity and we need to focus more on performance. Make 60 frames per second at least the minimum. I know we can go higher than that. We could do 144 or 140 or whatever, right? And that's great if we could achieve that. But I think 60 should now be the standard. It's damn near inexcusable that there are modern games right now on Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 that are locked at 30 frames per second. I don't understand it. And yeah, I'm like you just said, I'm not even talking about 4K, even though that's fine too. That's becoming the resolution standard, starting to. But I'd be fine if they wanted like optimize their games at 1080p 60 frames, right? Because not every household even has a 4K television that their Xbox is hooked up to, right? I think 1080p or even 1440p 2K at 60 frames a second needs to become the new standard. The 30 frames per second is piss poor at this time. There's no excuse anymore, and it's harsh to say, or it might sound harsh to say, but especially AAA games. There's no reason these AAA games need to be coming out locked at 30 frames per second on consoles, as powerful as they try to tout themselves to be. You know what I mean? It's inexcusable. You know, Tears of the Kingdom is very limited, but they have achieved such a big feat when they make that game run on the Switch. It runs such old technology. Yeah, I've heard someone say like it runs on that ass. What the hell?
Let's get going. You're not scared of heights, are you?
She's. What is that? She's got more polygons in her ass than Turok has in his head.
Don't worry, I'll try to go easy on you.
I don't know what the main character's name is, but I'm just gonna call him Turok. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. I saw a video earlier today that equated the Switch to basically a cell phone for. Oh, hello, Star Fox. They equated the Switch to a cell phone from 2012. It's a little more powerful than that, of course, but like just to drive home the point of like how low technology the Switch is when compared to the other modern consoles out, right? And they were able to put such like CPU intensive mechanics in Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch and work relatively flawlessly, right? Like there's a lot of like glitches people say about like item duplication and weapon duplication, but you don't see a lot of videos of people like bugging the fuck out of the game, right? There's no game-breaking glitches, no like Link's not like clipping through geometry at violent intervals. Gleeoks aren't flying backwards and crashing the game to a halt. You know what I mean? Like performance-wise, aside from some frame drops, especially when it comes to passing through transparent objects like leaves, and if you get too much fire on the screen or whatever, like understandable to an extent why you would get frame drops in that, but that's like the worst of it in my opinion. But they were able to make so many different mechanics work so flawlessly in tandem. It's ridiculous how they were able to do that on the Switch for Tears of the Kingdom, when developers have trouble implementing one of those systems, either be it a rewind function, a clip through ceilings, physics manipulation. So many different mechanics, dude. I thought that was a health option. Oh, it's a balloon carrying a health option. Got it. yeah, all these different mechanics that some games have trouble running one of them, but they do 5 of them running simultaneously. Like someone in the same video that talked about the cell phone comment pointed out that the rewind function relies on the game tracking the movement of every single movable object in that game simultaneously, like constantly, because you can rewind it. I mean, up to a certain extent, of course, right? Like you can't rewind it permanently. Like you can't fly your flying machine from one end of Hyrule to the next and then rewind it back to the other side of Hyrule. But you get the point, you know? Oops. Where am I supposed to be going? And you have Hero's Path showing where you've been for 250. Yeah, like so many different things. Tracking your position, tracking objects' position. You're able to stick things, like anything you could pick up, you could stick it to anything else. And the physics have to be able to adapt to the weight, the friction. So many different, like, pieces of data. It's insane how, and it's not even a graphical thing, it's a CPU, which the Switch does not have a good CPU either. And they're still able to process everything that's going on. It's nuts, man. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling great. I was tired, but I had this energy drink that I was talking about earlier, and I'm doing great now. I'm doing a flying segment. This is Turok 2. This is Turok Evolution, if you can believe that. I don't know where I need to be aiming, to be honest with you. This game would really benefit from a mini map of some sort. There's plenty of screen space for it. How are you today, Carl? I'm supposed to be destroying this jet, but am I doing damage? Okay, there it is.
Now let's target that dam.
Oh, I have rockets. That would have been good to know. She probably said something, but I can't hardly hear what these guys are saying. Didn't help that I'm constantly talking over them, but it refreshed itself on the whole Zelda timeline. I do have a theory in the game, but I won't say it until you finish it, so I don't spoil anything. Yeah, I appreciate that. Just going into the game, I have an opinion on the Zelda timeline as a whole, up to Breath of the Wild, and some people consider this controversial, apparently. But I am a huge fan of the convergence theory, where if anyone's familiar with the Zelda timeline, you'll know that at one point, after Ocarina of Time, the timeline splits into 3 timelines. One where he succeeds, or sorry, one where Link dies, like just straight up dies. Another one where he succeeds and stays in the future. And then another one where he succeeds and goes back into the past and continues his life as a child. I'm a huge fan of the fact that Breath of the Wild reunites all 3 timelines. I love that idea, and there's a whole lot of evidence that supports that theory in Breath of the Wild. I mean, it could be seen as circumstantial evidence, so, you know, take it for what you will. But there's stuff like everything that references all the games in all 3 timelines exists in Breath of the Wild, and even more in Tears of the Kingdom from what I've been able to find so far. So I really love, because I think having 3 timelines just muddies it way too much. So I for one am a huge fan of the convergence theory, because it combines it all back into one nice clean timeline. You know, and I also have a kind of like a little pet, like headcanon. Not pet head, I don't know what just headcanon in general, that like taking the title of the games literal, as in the Legend of Zelda, like legends of old, all these stories of like Link fighting in the Twilight Realm and fighting ancient dragons and all these things in the past. They're all stories, legends being told as if they're truths or just stories in the universe of Breath of the Wild. Like Skyward Sword is some ancient tale that's being passed down in households and schools and just societies, like campfire stories, basically, right? As legend, right? They are the legends of Zelda, the Princess Zelda. So like they're all just like fantastical stories in this, what is now the real world, quote unquote, of Hyrule, which is what Breath of the Wild. So that's like a little pet theory. I don't really hold that too close, right? But it, you know, I the core of my idea, my theory is the convergence, but the whole legend thing is just a little fun thing. I've thought about this at length, if you can't tell. What am I supposed to be doing? I think I'm supposed to be destroying these tents. I do agree with that, because Breath of the Wild has Ritos and Zoras, and it has Koroks and Hylians. Yeah, well, the Koroks and Hylians are already 2 different races. I think you're thinking of the Kokiri. Yeah. But yeah, like it has. I can't break. What are the breaks? I never looked at it that way. Interesting, can kind of be used to justify the little things that don't make sense, since as legends get tossed around through mouth-to-mouth communication, some things fall through the cracks and other aspects are added. Exactly. Like these wild things that are happening in like Link Between Worlds, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, like all these like weird things that just like wouldn't really, like, is that really true? You know, kind of like David and Goliath, whether you want to take that as truth or fact, a fact or fiction, or like the Greek, like the tales of the Greek gods. You know, they're all treated as not necessarily fairy tales. Some of them are considered fairy tales and stuff, but like stories, legends, eddas, you know? So it's kind of like that, where the people of Hyrule have their own legends and eddas and stories about this legendary hero throughout the ages. And this big evil that's like not quite what they... like, not quite exactly as fantastical as what the stories entail, but definitely maybe did happen or something. Word of mouth meant not mouth to mouth, that's kissing or CPR. Yeah, that's true. Oh, cool. But if it's not to be taken as a literal legend, then my convergence theory, I think I like the best. Not my convert. I didn't make it up, but you know what I mean. But a lot of people don't like that theory of convergence. I haven't really read as to why, like some dissidents of that theory. I haven't really read up as to why they don't like it, but I just know some people don't like it. Which, like, whatever. To each their own.
Over here. Follow me into this pipe.
What's up with the number 8 now? Oh, it's because I have those are my ammo. You are of the camp that the games are all true, like true stories. Yeah, that's fine. But Breath of the Wild does make them into one again. Yeah. Like the imprisoning war in Tears of the Kingdom that's being mentioned in Tears of the Kingdom has been mentioned before in previous Zelda games. But those are of the failed timeline, where Link fails in Ocarina of Time. But then you have, and this was in Breath of the Wild too, you have, like the sea salt that says it's from oceans, a long gone ocean, right? Or, you know, in Breath of the Wild, but Zelda in one of the memories mentions, you know, whether he be swimming the flows of, I don't remember the quote exactly, but like going through the flows of time or traversing the Shroud of Twilight or something, you know. It mentions several different Zelda games by like cheeky little references. Like it just lines up a little too good, in my opinion, to not be a convergence style timeline fixing, basically.
Whoa, look at that airship, it's huge.
This is fun, by the way. It's weird how Breath of the Wild has so many outfits from previous timelines from all of them, and it all has species that evolved over time. Yeah, the people argued against the convergence theory when you mention the outfits, because at one point I think the outfits were added later, right? Like they were like, oh, it's just those are just DLC, they don't count towards the story, right? Or something like that, I think. Like, yeah, it's just fan service. They just put it as a nice little reference, right? They don't mean anything. But that gets thrown out the window in Tears of the Kingdom because it's not DLC. You get them all through the underground, at least. A few of them. And they have lore attached to them. Yeah, exactly. They're more than just little Easter egg. I mean, they are Easter eggs for sure, but they're more than just fan service, in my opinion. And to me, that solidifies the convergence. This place looks familiar. We're looking for enemy activity. I see. I would say we damn well found it. How did you not die? Damn it. First time I found your stream. What about it? Oh, Tower from Turok 1. Oh, okay. Well, this is a prequel. So that would track. Who here has beaten Mario Odyssey? Just asking that I just say next to spoiler bomb you. I've beaten it. Like, literally 100%ed it. So there's not gonna be any spoilers from me. And besides, it's a several-year-old game. This might sound callous, but if anyone in the chat or watching the stream hasn't played Odyssey yet, then I feel like the window for spoiler warnings has come and gone. Also, yeah, Mario's kind of hard to spoil. Bowser's evil and wants Peach. Yeah. But there are gameplay elements from Odyssey that are pretty cool that some people might want. Like moments they may not want spoiled. But like I said, the game's been out for so long. It's hard to not spoil things nowadays. But Carl, I appreciate you being conscientious of it. Conscious of it, not conscientious. Today on Navi using a word that he doesn't quite know the context of. Tune in next stream for his use of the word prestidigitation. I need ammo. They're all health, which I appreciate greatly. Oops. I did grow to hate the darkest side of the moon. That was rough. The darkest side of the moon. I can continue. I'm not all that familiar with Zelda or its timeline theories, but a lot of people talk about Mario not having a timeline or cohesive story, and I think the scene Mario capturing Bowser disproves that claim. Goes through Bowser's memory of all their fights. Yeah, exactly. I thought about that too. Just like the frog memory from the start of the game. Yeah. I think it's less of that Mario doesn't have a storyline and more of it's not as important as it would be for Zelda. You know what I mean? But I know what you're saying. And I agree. I think there is more of an established kind of timeline that people try to say. Health, and I need more ammo. How do I get ammo? Is there ammo in here? Ah, I think this is ammo. Yes, good. Health. You know, I like this, the flight segments, not hard to control, not bad. Like, really smooth. I know I keep crashing, but it's all been my fault. I don't know how to. I think I just now realized what the brake button is. So that's kind of been why I've crashed so many times. I wouldn't blame that on the game. No, I'm not trying to defend the game either. I like, whatever. I wouldn't die on a hill of Turok evolution to be good. Yeah, Mario's a lot more comical repetition since pretty much every game has Peach getting kidnapped, 3D World being one of the more notable exceptions. Yeah, but while I haven't put much thought into it recently, I definitely feel you could probably determine a start and end point for the series. Yeah, I think you're right, for sure. Especially, I mean, even more so with the Donkey Kong series, which is, you know, in the same world as Mario, obviously.
Concentrate your fire on that airship. Let's take it down.
Because, you know, the common theory, if you want to call it that, is that the Donkey Kong that's in the Donkey Kong arcade machine is Cranky Kong, right? and Donkey Kong Jr. is is who we consider Donkey Kong nowadays. Mario's a little more muddy than Donkey Kong in that kind of sense. Kind of hard to determine a clear line, but how about that? I know we're kind of circling back around to Zelda, but I was thinking of the Mario movie, and I read I mean, it's been kind of all over the place that Illumination, the animation studio that did the Mario movie, is apparently in talks to do a Zelda movie, which I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the goofiness of the Illumination studio is very ill-suited for something like Zelda. I think it was a perfect fit for Mario, but I think unless they could pull off a little bit more of a like, it's video games, like they don't need to be that serious, but like I don't need pop music in Zelda. You know what I mean? I barely needed it in Mario, but at least it was not horribly out of place. Trying to listen to what she was saying. There's no subtitles, but oh, there's actual CG cutscenes.
Welcome, tall set. My servants are very protective. I assure you.
What? I didn't press anything. What is going on? Why? It did that for the opening credits, and I thought that's just how they ended, but the cutscene just cut off. Is it supposed to do that? Is that just a glitch with maybe the... I don't know. That's so weird. Before I talk about the Zelda thing, I'll say this. The Mario movie was definitely a disconnected love letter to the series. I agree. It combines plots and styles of virtually every Mario game thus far. I don't think you could fit the movie into a game timeline. I agree with that. Okay, that time I did skip that because I didn't hear. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Carl. Who shoot? So are these like humanoid dinosaurs? I'm sure that would have been answered in that cutscene that was playing, but then got skipped by some inexplicable means, but I don't know. Also, I did hear the Zelda movie discussion, and a lot of people are concerned, but I've also heard some people talk about it maybe working if they went with Wind Waker era with Toon Link. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I could see that working with the Illumination style. And I mean, Wind Waker is one of those funny cases where people hated it when it came out because it wasn't what people were expecting following Ocarina of Time. But ended up being an absolute hit in retrospect. And I loved it. It was like, Wind Waker technically wasn't my first Zelda game because I played Ocarina of Time when it was out on the N64. But I was too young, not too young, but I was too stupid with video games to figure out exactly what I needed to do, so I didn't get very far in the game. So I have a weird relationship with considering what my first Zelda game was, right? But Wind Waker was the first Zelda game I played all the way through and like understood what was going on. So I loved Wind Waker. I did not like well, was it Spirit Tracks? No, I never played Spirit Tracks. Phantom Hourglass. Did not like Phantom Hourglass. Well, geez, you didn't have to have such a dramatic death to the deer. Ah. This is how much Tears of the Kingdom has fucked me up. I keep trying to tilt the GameCube controller to move the camera. One thing's for sure, if anyone makes a Zelda movie, Link cannot talk. Mario sort of talked for a while at things like, here we go, or it's a bee, but no good has ever come from Link talking. Only tragedy. Well, excuse me, princess. Yeah, no, I agree. I think no matter who they pick, if they were to pick someone to voice Link, it would not matter who they picked. It could have been like the most perfect casting you could have ever done. People are still going to hate it, and they have to know that. They have to know that. That's probably why Link doesn't vocally talk in Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, he communicates with people. We see him gesticulate. I think they even move his mouth. Just like no voice comes out and no text comes out on screen. You know, to the player, he's effectively a silent protagonist, but he does talk. He's not mute. But it's got to be conveyed somehow else in a movie. They cannot give him a voice. They might still do it. They might try to make it work. But I guarantee you, no matter how they do it, people are going to hate it no matter what. I might not hate it. I'm not saying I will. Like, case in point, I think Zelda's voice actress for the English version, perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with Zelda's voice in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. But people hate it. A lot of people hate it. I don't know what they're talking about. I like it. Like, people are saying, like, it sounds like a fake British accent, like an American doing a British accent poorly. But, like, I mean, yeah, because it's literally an American doing a British accent. Zelda's voice actress is not British. And I would throw you a bone and say, yeah, maybe she's putting on a British accent that's not, or like a British sounding accent that's not accurate British. But it's an approximation of what most people would consider a voice for royalty, right? And I think she even mentioned, which I hate this point, because I don't like how much influence in fantasy media that Game of Thrones has had on the world. Because I just didn't like Game of Thrones. But she has said that her inspiration for Peach's damn it, I said it again. Zelda's voice came from Game of Thrones. I hate that. But, like, and I think that's kind of like the way I'm rationalizing it is that she's not meant to be British. She's Hyrulean. And whether you think it sounds like a bad British accent or not is irrelevant, because that's not what it's supposed to be. I think she's going for what you think of when you think of royalty. Whoa, sick backflip. And some people say, like, oh, she sounds like she's constantly on the verge of crying. Which, like, I don't know, in Breath of the Wild, she was miserable. Everything around her was dying. How could you not sound sad all the time? And by comparison, I do think she's improved her voice from Tears of the Kingdom compared to Breath of the Wild. I think they were able to refine it. She was able to work more with it. She had a lot more voice lines, I think, in Tears of the Kingdom as compared to Breath of the Wild. So I think she had a lot more time to work with it. The voice I don't like is actually Ganondorf's so far. I've not gotten very far in the story. I haven't fought him yet. I have, like, not interacted with him from Link to Ganon, right? I've only ever seen the one memory that he's in where he's talking at length to King Rauru. But I don't like the voice for Ganondorf at all. I like Matt Mercer as a voice actor. He's done a lot of really good work, but I don't like it. I've been subject to Ganondorf's other type of voices where they're like more throaty, more like scratchy and throaty, deeper. That sounds like someone trying to do this kind of voice. You know, like, I don't know. I think I'm mostly basing my experience off of, like, this is bad, I shouldn't, because it's just a fighting game, but Smash Brothers. You know, when I expect Ganondorf, I expect something closer to Smash Brothers, or Hyrule Warriors, even. Right? Not what Matt Mercer brought to the table. I think, in fact, his dehydrated voice in the very opening cutscene of Tears of the Kingdom was a far more closer to what I had imagined an actual Ganondorf would sound like. That voice was really good. But I do not like rehydrated Ganondorf. I don't think it's Matt Mercer's best work. Also, I'm kind of getting fatigue from him. You know, there was a while, I don't play a lot of JRPGs anymore, but there was a time where I was really starting to get tired of hearing Yuri Lowenthal's voice, because he's just basically JRPG protagonist .jpeg, you know? Or .wav, if you want to go voice format. Or sound format. So, like, I got really tired of that after a while. And it's getting the same with Matt Mercer. I'm getting real fatigued of hearing him. Because I could always tell it's him. Like that very first trailer of Tears of the Kingdom, where there's like one line from Ganondorf, I could tell it was Matt Mercer right off rip. Yeah, I'm getting tired of it. And that's so weird too. I've heard Matt do those types of voices. He's talented, but when the game was first announced, I pondered why I could tell it's him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's done such like good work in other games, so he's not a bad voice actor by any stretch. I mean, clearly he's gotten so much work. He wouldn't be getting so much work if he was bad at it, right? Or you would think. That's not the case with other voice actors, but yeah, no, that's not his best work. I was not impressed, and I am not impressed. I think they could have done a lot better. Or at least he could have done, like, literally, not even trying to recast Ganondorf. I think he could have just done a better voice for Ganondorf. He has it in his repertoire. Could I have done a better job at Ganondorf? Probably not. But I know it's possible, and I know it's possible for Matt Mercer of all people to have done a better job. It's also kind of like, I've had the similar thing with Jennifer Hale. She's done a lot of really prolific voice actress, or female roles in video games and cartoons and movies. But I could also pick her out of a vocal lineup. Easy. Like, she was the main character for Eternal Darkness. She's Commander Shepard. Like, those are the two most notable recent examples I can think of. But, like, you look up her IMDb, and you could any cartoon you grew up with, I guarantee you she did a voice in it at one point or another. Or any video game in the either in the early 2000s and onward into modern gaming, she's done a voice in it. And, like, it's getting kind of the same way, like, okay, this is a lot. Let's try to see if we can find some more up-and-coming talent or some different talent we could use instead of just who's big name, right? And maybe that's a little bit of bias coming from someone like me who's a small-time voice actor, little guppy nobody in the voice acting industry, right? So maybe I'm a little biased. But, I mean, they've done good work. You know, their pedigree is unmatched. It gets a little fatiguing and tiring. It goes to show, no matter how good of a voice actor you are, to an extent, your natural tone comes through in your characters, and people who've heard your voice long enough will be able to pick it out. I can do it with my own voice, no matter what kind of voice I put on, no matter what kind of character I put on, I could always tell it's me. I've done podcast work and animations and a couple indie games that probably will never see the light of day, unfortunately. But, like, so many things I've done, and I can hear it back, and maybe, I mean, it's unfair because I know the lines. I you know, obviously I read them myself. Of course I can tell when my line is coming up. But, like, I could hear my natural tone in some of the things that I've done. Also, I died, so that's cool. Can't blame an actor or voice actor for getting a lot of roles. No, I don't blame them at all. I don't like it when it's clear that they phoned it in, like they thought, oh, just another voice role, let's get it through this one. Yep. And I'm not going to suggest that Matt Mercer, Yuri Lowenthal, Jennifer Hale, all those people would do that. Have they done it before? Probably. I think any actor is going to get a little fatigued after, you know, especially if they're accepting so many roles. It's kind of hard to keep up with, right? So, you know, maybe they have phoned it in a couple of times, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't blame them for getting a lot of roles. Like, good on them. Get all that you can. Because that's the thing. Some people think that it's really easy to get into the voice acting industry, and to an extent, it kinda is. Like, I'm not saying it's some exclusive club, because literally the way I got into it is I bought a decent sounding microphone, some soundproofing, and a audio deck for processing, right? Audio deck's not the right word, but I'm blanking on the term. And just started getting myself out there. Like, it's been a lot of, like, personal legwork, because I don't have an agent or anything. I would love to get an agent, but I just don't have a lot under my belt that I could use as, to market myself just yet. But you know, it's easy to start, but it's hard to get a foothold. So when you get to a point where you are Matt Mercer, Yuri Lowenthal, Jennifer Hale, and you can afford to take a whole bunch of roles because you're desirable, you're marketable, you have a good resume under your belt, like, yeah, take all the roles you can get. I don't blame them at all. Am I a little salty that they get all the really cool roles that small-time voice actors would do just as well at? Yeah, of course. But it doesn't come from a place of hatred. Just a competitive nature, right? I don't know what would be the right term for that. Envy, maybe. And I keep naming those three because they're the ones that I've had the most exposure to. There are others like the voice actor to Invader Zim. He was Pox. I don't remember the actor's name, but he was Pox from Destroy All Humans series. He was he did quite a few things in cartoons. There's he did a voice role in Dead Rising, I think 1 or 2, I don't remember. He was like a male person that went crazy. That you had to eventually fight. And then there's Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob. He did a shit ton of stuff in other video games and cartoons. Steve Bloom, he's been in a lot of anime dubs. I'm thinking of someone else, but I don't remember. But yeah, ton of them. Another guy who voiced Chaos in Skylanders, Richard Stephen Horvitz, played Invader Zim. That's who I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. I met Brian Baycock where I live. He attended a Comic-Con, and not the town where I live, but a nearby town. I met him. He did the voice of the one I know him from most is the voice of Monokuma from Danganronpa, the English dub. And he even did Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia, the sequel, not the original. That was the Yuri Lowenthal actually that did Lloyd in the original Tales of Symphonia, but Brian Baycock did the voice for Lloyd in the sequel. One of my favorite things is finding like there was an artist that I really love their work for. Poe, not to be confused with Edgar Allan Poe, of course, but she's a singer that was really popular in the 2000s and hasn't released anything since. But she did like a voice role for some like Windows FMV game or something, which was really funny to find out about. So far, I've only gotten the pistol and a bow as an additional weapon. I want to, before I end the stream today, I want to get far enough to find a really cool weapon, but so far I haven't. What the absolute fuck? I don't even know what was hitting me. I know there was a guy in front of me that was like cheering as I was dead, but there was something else shooting at me, but I didn't see where they were shooting from. Hold down the trigger. I've been tapping it. Get please. It would be cool if I didn't have to do all this over and over again. What is shooting at me? I'm going to be more careful with what is shooting at me and where. At least I'm going to try to be. Like concentrating now. Was it this thing that's been shooting at me? It is. Of course, and I wasted too much time. I think, do I just need to keep running? Can I, like, there's no way I can shoot that down with just a pistol. Why does he sometimes die so quickly and then other times take so long to go down? Well, inconsistent. So far, this game has been just okay. Earlier, I read off a review that someone made for this on IGN, and they basically concluded it with good for a rental, not a classic, but not offensive. Very middle of the road kind of game. And I would 100% agree with that. What's that? How the hell am I supposed to get that? Do I shoot it down, I wonder? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We're not falling down a pit this time. I could feel myself falling. Oh, that didn't mean. A little elaboration on what I was mentioning earlier. No doubt you know the Emperor's New Groove. First, David Spade, who voiced Cusco. Yeah, my opinion, his voice acting is really funny and good in the movie, and Cusco screams a lot in it, which is also done in a funny way. The game I loved playing on PS2 had him in it, and his screaming and the line delivery was so flat in that role, even I was pretty sure he phoned it in a way. Yeah, that's so true though, what you were saying. Like, it's so easy to see, like, to hear a voice actor, or an actor, I guess, in that regard, because David Spade's not just a voice actor, in a role where you know he's good at what he does, but just bad in that role for one reason or another. Maybe they phoned it in, maybe they had poor direction, vocal direction, the coach wasn't all there. Some people are really good at improv. Some people are good at thinking up their own way to do a voice with very little guidance. I'm somewhere in between that. That dude is just spinning. But other people need direction, and when you don't give them direction, sometimes they just phone it in or do a bad job. And that's partly the actor's fault for, you know, essentially not being good enough to do their own job effectively without that much guidance. Like, that's a skill you have to have in voice acting. But partly, you also have to have a good coach, a good director. But I think you're right, though. That, especially, was it a movie tie-in game, or was it just some, like, random game? Like, especially that era of video games, I feel like, I guess I could take that down with just a pistol. I feel like that era of video games was not taken very seriously, especially by mainstream actors. They were just like, oh, it's just another paycheck, you know, nothing really that any of them probably felt particularly passionate about, you know? So they're just like, phone it in, getting paid. You know, because back then, video games weren't as prolific as they are nowadays. And some people still argue that video games still aren't as prolific as other forms of media. Some actors still don't take video games very seriously, for better or worse. First Legend of Spyro game, actually. He played a Dragonfly Sparks in the first game, then Billy West in the sequel. He was way better for that role. I didn't know David Spade played Sparks. Huh. That's a neat little fact I never knew. I played a lot of Spyro growing up. I didn't play a lot of PlayStation games or PlayStation 2 games, but Spyro was one of the ones that I played a lot. And Jak and Daxter. I would like to play the Jak and Daxter series, maybe even on stream sometime. Maybe on stream, I don't know. I might just play it in my own time. Bunny hopping through the water because it's faster than just wading. W-A-D-I-N-G. I don't really like the screen flash. If anyone having trouble with that visually, I'm sorry, but The Legend of Spyro. Oh, that Spyro game. Yeah. That one didn't have very good critical acclaim, did it? That wasn't as well received as the original trilogy, if I remember correctly. I did not play that, so that makes sense why I never knew that about David Spade. But sorry, that's right, because Sparks also didn't talk in the original trilogy. Most people dislike it, but I actually enjoyed all 3 entries. Oh, nice. I think I'll be playing at least 1 or 2 of them, right? Because a couple of them came out on the GameCube. I don't know if all 3 of them did, but 2 of them at least. I don't remember if they're on my list to do full playthroughs of or not, but I'm going to play them to some extent, at least. Oh, someone was behind me. Fucker. I'm excited to play, like, I'm thinking about it because it's a platformer. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I didn't play a lot of Ty 1, but I played Ty 2 a lot, and I loved it. That's another game series that kind of fell off. They did a whole trilogy, but not a lot of people liked the 3rd game, from my understanding. I never played the 3rd game. I didn't even know there was a 3rd game until way later in life. But apparently a lot of people didn't like it. So we'll see how that is. I don't remember how many are on GameCube. I think at least in the beginning there was one. I think Enter the Dragonfly is on GameCube, right? That's one of the newer ones. Am I supposed to have had a shotgun by now? You didn't know there was even a Ty 2 and 3 until Nostalgia Shopping on Steam? Oh, nice. I actually started with Ty 2. I didn't know what Ty was until... I think I rented it, or maybe I had a friend who owned it and I borrowed it from him. I don't remember how I got into playing Ty. But I remember I played Ty 2 and I'm like, this is awesome. Love this. You know, it was like scratching an itch I wasn't getting for a while because like I had played Super Mario Sunshine. I played all the other like real common platformers by that time. Because I got into the GameCube era kind of late. because I wasn't in a time. I got a GameCube later on in life as like a gift, I think. Not in life, in its life cycle, because my dad was not making a lot of money at this time, so I think I had to I think I saved up my own money to buy a GameCube or something. But it wasn't until like 2006, 5 or 6, that I got a GameCube. Enter the Dragonflight is on GameCube, and I did enjoy it on PS2, though that game is actually in line with more lighthearted original Reignited trilogy type of Spyro. Man, the Reignited trilogy was awesome. I think I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. But that is one of the gold standards for remakes. Like, you know, I put it up there with Metroid Prime 1 remake, how good that remake was like that one, Dead Space remake that recently came out, and like Spyro Reignited trilogy, and the Crash reboot too. Those were also really good examples of what you need to do to make a very high quality remake of an old franchise. Like such good remakes we've had recently. And then some that were really shit. But I think I've been very fortunate in the sense that most of the games that have been remade that I grew up playing have had really quality remakes. Other people and their favorite franchises may not have been so lucky, unfortunately. That's like that kind of remake is what I wish they would do for Banjo-Kazooie. That's the kind of remake Banjo-Kazooie needs. But Rare's been on record that they have no intentions of doing it themselves, and they are very picky. They've been very picky with who they've allowed to touch their classic IPs. I think they said they're open to letting someone do a Banjo remake, but they haven't found the right studio. They've been approached by numerous different studios to do it, but they haven't found one that they would be comfortable allowing to do. Which, as a longtime fan, I appreciate, but also fucking pick someone. You know? Give me my Banjo remake, or just give me a new Banjo game. Doesn't even have to be a remake. Give me a new game, as long as it's not nuts and bolts. That'd be a monkey paw wish type of thing, where I wish for a remake of Banjo-Kazooie and it ends up being a remake of Nuts and Bolts. That'd be a kick in the teeth. You're the one that killed me last time, asshole. No, you're the one that killed me last time. Maybe. I don't know. Someone killed me last time, and I don't appreciate it. I don't know if those rocks do any damage or not, but I'm not risking it. Oh, it's a shotgun ammo. Okay. Other favorite franchises might not have been so lucky. Cries in Glover. Yeah, exactly. Definitely appreciate the Insane Trilogy. Holy cow, the Banjo-Kazooie models in Smash Ultimate make me desperate for anything modern Banjo. Remaster, new game, just don't care. I know, dude. God. They did him right. They did Banjo right by doing a new model, a new updated model, instead of just like using the nuts and bolts model. I would have been fine with literally any form of a Banjo model. Any form of Banjo-Kazooie in Smash I would have appreciated. But God, I'm so glad they went with a newer, updated version of the classic model. It's funny though because they use a like all of Banjo's sound effects are just sound effects from Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie. There's no new voice lines for Banjo, which like whatever, be resourceful with the stuff that you have, right? I don't care, but it's just funny to me. I'm gonna die. First character I used in Smash, refused to buy the game without also getting him as DLC. He's one of my mains, unironically. There's probably some bias there, right? But I legitimately enjoy playing as him. And I think I would still enjoy it even if there wasn't some bias, you know what I mean? He's just a very good character, and out of all the DLC characters, I think he feels the most like a classic Smash character. Because a lot of the DLC characters have their own like weird gimmick, either it would be a meter, menu, a resource of some kind, which I know he still has a resource technically, the Wonder Wing ammo, but it's the most classic feeling DLC character that they have, in my opinion. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's up to you. I think it's a good thing. But you switch between 3 mains right now: Pac-Man, Kirby, and Banjo-Kazooie. Nice. I think Banjo-Kazooie are one of my main mains, but I also really like to play as Wolf, Bowser, that's really like my mains, I think. Banjo, Wolf, and Bowser. I'm shit at Smash Brothers though. Like, my God, I'm so bad at Smash Brothers. I love to play it, but I'm bad at it. Am I going the right way? I don't know if I am or not. Still don't have a shotgun. Okay, I actually think this is going to be a good stopping place for me. I'm getting kind of tired of this. It's not as painful to play as Turok 2, but honestly, it's kind of boring. It's not bad necessarily, but it's also not good. I would not have played this for very long as a kid. I think I would have rented it, gotten tired of it, and then never thought about it again. But I think that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Streams lately, if you guys haven't noticed, have been kind of shorter. I'm shooting for 2 to 3 hours. Mostly because I think there's some, like, it kind of comes down to a diminishing returns. Especially for games like Turok, where they're not particularly exciting, they're not super nostalgic for myself or a lot of other people. So not much staying power to them, you know what I mean? Which is also why I'm not playing them throughout multiple streams. I've noticed that a lot of people come by for the first stream of a game, and I have less viewers the longer I play a game for. That's not going to stop me from longer form games or playing one game over the course of multiple streams, but I am going to be more conscious of it, right? Sometimes it's going to boil down to, I just really love this game and I want to play more of it. I don't care how many viewers I get. And at the core, I really don't anyways. But for games like these, I'm going to be more conscious of engagement, viewership, blah, blah, blah. You know, more technical aspects of things that are a little less entertaining. Boring behind-the-scenes stats things, right? It's been fun as usual. Haven't felt too disrupted by your shorter streams. They're still quite fun. Always enjoy chatting with you guys. I'll definitely tune in next Tuesday. Yeah. Speaking of next Tuesday, what am I gonna play next Tuesday? Let me take a look at my sheet here. My Google Sheets. My stream planner, as I'm calling it. Turok Evolution. It's how I keep track of what game number. That I think. Speaking of Smash Brothers, right? I think next week, Tuesday and maybe Thursday as well, I'm going to be playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, I mentioned this in Discord a couple of days ago. My approach to that game is going to be the event mode. So I'm gonna try to get as far as I can through the event mode. If I feel like I'm hitting a wall by the end of Tuesday's stream, I might move on to the next game. But if I feel like I have a good momentum going and I might be able to get pretty far into the event mode or beat it, we'll see about, extending it into Thursday. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear. But I think Tuesday we'll come back with some Super Smash Bros. Melee. So I have some fond memories of that game. Never played Melee, but it's responsible for me playing the Nintendo Switch with a USB GameCube controller. Nice. Yeah, GameCube is the best control scheme for Smash. Bar none. I will not be taking any questions. I know that's a very warm, or a very, very cold take to have about Smash Brothers. I think vast majority of people would agree with me. But, yeah, GameCube is the best way to play Smash. No question. So, but I played a lot of Smash Brothers Melee. I've just played a lot of Smash Brothers. You'd think I'd be good at it by now, but I'm really not. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. I love me some Smash Brothers, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. But thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you then.